What is good, everybody? It is your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. How are y'all feeling today, Chicago? Today we're going to be breaking down the Chicago Bulls' current roster and evaluating the talent, and it starts now. All right, so if you are new to the page, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly, and we don't want you to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit that bell. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the Bulls, especially with the change in management and things like that, with how they are moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the young talent on this team and how is management going to view those players. So I really just wanted to kind of look at their roster and see kind of what pieces the Bulls should definitely keep about. All right, we need to definitely get this guy into the lineup more, work with him a lot more, and you know what pieces we can get out of here. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey, okay, Rook on the top of the roster, Kobe White. Yeah, I like Kobe. I really like Kobe. I think that Kobe does some good things. Rookie year stats, 13 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Now, the only thing I will say is I need to see those assist numbers going up. Shot 39% from the field, 35% from the field. I think his numbers are a little bit skewed. I mean, his numbers are what they are, but I think we saw that month before the NBA season ended that he was kind of getting into the rhythm of how the NBA was going, and so I think that Kobe White's going to be a pretty good player moving forward. Tomas Satoransky. Now, I ain't going to lie to you. I'm not a big Satoransky fan. I mean, he has some nice dunks in Washington, but really, it's not like he was killing the game. This season, he was pretty much average, if I could say that. Averaged under 10 points a game. 3 rebounds, we'll round it up to 4. A little over 5 assists. Had some decent games for the Bulls there, but really just didn't do what we needed him to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all his numbers pretty much, except for his points per game, went completely down. So, I wouldn't be upset if the Bulls moved on or tried to get Satoransky in a package or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, Sato's a nice player if you're bringing him off the bench. And I'd be cool with him bringing him off the bench, honestly. But I wouldn't want Sato as my starting point guard moving forward. Thaddeus Young. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I think Thaddeus Young was underutilized for what the Chicago Bulls needed this season. Everything pretty much went down for him. I think his three-point percentage went up. But other than that, everything else, all his other stats kind of trended down. And to me, it's because of how he was being used. It's because of the minutes he was getting. I mean, kind of towards the later months, you saw that it went – they started using Thad more, you know what I'm saying? But I think that in the beginning, like they didn't know how to use him. They didn't know where to put him. I mean, Thad, listen – amazing defensively, can do a lot of things for you offensively. He's not going to be a superstar player for you, but you need those glue guys like Thaddeus Young. I like Thaddeus Young on this Bulls team moving forward, but I don't think that Thaddeus Young vibes with the current coaching staff at all that's in the room. So I think that that's a big problem. It's something that definitely has to be addressed. Zach LaVine. Now, listen, there's a lot of people that might not believe in Zach. That might think that, he's a nice 2 or 3 on other teams. But Zach is, 24? 25? And literally every season since he's been back, his numbers have continuously trended up. He's shown us no reason to believe that they'll trend down. Now, I do believe that defensively he has to improve to be in some of those top conversations in the NBA. But listen, Zach LaVine averaged 25 points a game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. That's not bad. That's what you want to see from your young talent. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Those are the things. Like people look at it and compare it to the Jimmy Butler deal. Yes, Jimmy Butler's arguably a top 10 player, but probably about top 15 right about now. But I just think that mugs look at the trade and they're like, well, Jimmy's this. And it's like, yes, he is. But you have to allow these mugs to develop. You have to put these people in a situation to succeed. And listen, Zach pretty much got 25 points basically just off of playing by himself because they really tried to get nobody else involved in that offense. I know that helps your scoring go up if you are a good scorer, but Zach LaVine is pretty effortless with his scoring. I think that he could be a very good asset for the Chicago Bulls team. I think that other pieces need to step up around. Ryan Arcidiacono. With Arch, I like Arch. I really do. I think Arch is a good player, but to me, you must always want to talk about, well, he's bringing that heart, he's bringing that hustle. Yeah, but you know what he's not bringing? More than 5 points a game. Like, I love heart. I love the hustle. I think you need guys like that, but I also need you to produce. You know what I'm saying? Like, Arch is a decent player. He's a decent player, but he's not... Like, I feel like we hyped him up because they showed that Bulls tournament. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not great. Like, he's a nice backup piece if your backup point guard gets hurt. That's what Arch is to me. I like him defensively, but listen, you can't put him in every defensive position. I think he's, 6'3", maybe? So I like Arch. I could see the Bulls moving on from Arch. I would have no problems with that. Chris Dunn is another one. The Bulls had so many point guards last year, too. So, honestly, we're probably not seeing the best out of these guys because you're being put in situations where you're not playing your true position. I mean, we got 15 point guards. Like, take it easy. Chris Dunn, I like Chris Dunn as a starting or as a backup point guard. I really do because he brings that defensive presence. He brings that tenacity. Doesn't really bring you that scoring night in and night out that we want to see from a lot of point guards here. But when you look at a guy like him, he's a guy that'll stay around the league for a long time because of the things that he does defensively and because of what he can do and how he has improved now. Has he become the player that many people thought he was going to be? Absolutely not. But I like Chris Dunn is kind of like a less talented Tony Allen almost. I don't want that to sound disrespectful. It probably did because I just said you're a less talented other player in the NBA. But it's true. You know, like he's there. If we put Chris in on a guard, we know that Chris is going to hold that guard for the most part. He does a good job defensively in this league. Offensively is where he struggles. And so I can see the Bulls packaging him in a trade somewhere. I can see the Bulls holding on to him as the starting point guard off of the bench because I think they are going to try to go Kobe White as starting point guard next season. So I like Chris Dunn. I would like to see him stay with the Bulls, but I wouldn't be hurt if the Bulls moved on from him. Before I continue with the video, I want to know your thoughts on this current Bulls roster. What players you think the Bulls should hold on to? What players you think the Bulls should move on from? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there discussing it with each and every one of you. Larry got to prove it to me. Larry's the next player. Larry got to prove it to me, man, because Larry Markkinen has really, he regressed. Listen, I understand it's the scheme. I personally think that Jim Boylan tried to turn him into Nico Mirotic. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's about the player making shots. It's about the player making plays. And Larry Markkinen just was not aggressive enough. You know, Zach LaVine's numbers went up. You know why? Because Zach was like, give me the ball. I don't care what he says. I'm playing my game. Larry Markkinen didn't do that. Larry Markkinen didn't follow suit. I would have loved to see him do that. I would have loved to see his game continue to grow. I like Larry. I think you got to give him this season to at least see what he can be. You know what I'm saying? I think after this season, you'll definitely know what he is in this NBA, and it's going to be about his health. It's going to be about what position he's being put in. Hopefully Boylan's not around to put him in those wrong positions anymore. But listen, Larry's got to prove it to us. Larry's got to prove it to himself that he belongs in this league as a star, as the star that we thought we were getting. You know, he's a nice player right now. I think he's got some moves that are unguardable. That drag step is ridiculous, but you got to prove better. You know what I'm saying? You got to play better, and I think he knows that. I think he understands that, and I think we will see Larry Markkinen improve next season. Wendell Carter Jr. When I look at these young players, man, I really like them, and it's because I'm attached to them. But looking at it from an outside point looking in, I like Wendell. I love what Wendell does. Wendell defensively is a dog. But I think Wendell kind of got stuck in those same things that Larry got stuck in. Like Wendell in college, we saw him shooting threes. We saw him shooting the mid-range game. We saw him knocking that clip down at a respectable average. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like once he got into the NBA, they tried to change him into something he's not. Listen, he's only 6'9", playing the center position, so he's a mismatch most nights. But I think that on the offensive end, he has to be more of a mismatch. You know, he was great defensively. He was sending shots away consistently. The other thing you got to worry about with Wendell as well is his health. We haven't seen him play that full season yet, and he's been in the league 2 years now, I believe. So I want to see him play that full season. I want to see his scoring go up, and I want that defense to continue. I think Wendell's a nice piece. Like I said, going into next year, he's a piece I would love to keep around. But I can see the Bulls moving on from him, if I'm being honest. I can see the Bulls packaging him in something else and sending him somewhere else. But I hope they don't. I hope they don't, because I think Wendell could blossom into something nice, you know? Hey, Big Dan, listen. Get my man Big Dan more minutes, bro. Daniel Gafford, bro. He's kind of becoming one of those dudes that you know is going to be in Chicago for a minute, because he got the heart, he got the mindset, and he's actually bringing a good production. Now, the points, not really a lot of points last year. 5 points a game, only 2 rebounds. But I think it's kind of that same thing as with Kobe White. Towards the end of the season, I think that we saw Gafford getting more minutes, getting more playing time, you know what I'm saying? Making more shots. He also went through that stretch where Boylan was just like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to play him. I'm not going to. You know why? Because I said I'm not going to play him. Shut up, Jim. But if you get Big Dan more minutes, bro, Big Dan going to produce. He is going to produce. So I think Gafford could be, honestly, if I'm being 110% honest, if it's about health and it's about production, I think Gafford could give Wendell a run for his money at that starting center position. Now, the Bulls will still be in that same spot with an undersized center. Gafford only 6'10", but listen, if he bulk up this offseason and he come back ready to dominate and doing what he was doing last year, he was yamming on everybody's head. Like, didn't nobody want smoke with Daniel Gafford coming down the lane. So I think he could be a good big man for the Chicago Bulls, and I think that he could be a starting center for the Chicago Bulls if they feel like Wendell isn't the best option. Shaq Harrison. Shaq Harrison's a tough one for me, because Shaq Harrison is Chris Dunn, but a little bit taller. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a good player. I think he's a nice bench player. The problem is he can't shoot. The problem is with a lot of these guys on this team. Listen, it's okay if you have certain guys averaging 4 or 5 points a game, because they come in for a purpose. Like I said, with Gafford, I'm not looking to Gafford for offense. I'm looking to Gafford for blocking shots, being down in the paint, playing big. I'm kind of looking at Chris Dunn for that same thing. But the problem is the Bulls have nothing but these guys on their bench. Shaq Harrison, another guy averaging about 5 points a game. Not a lot of rebounds, not a lot of assists. Brings excellent defense. And I think there's a place for a guy like this. But if I had to pick one, honestly, I would probably keep Shaq Harrison over Chris Dunn, because Shaq Harrison has more height. Shaq Harrison is 6'7". He can guard pretty much probably 1 through 4 in the NBA today. You know what I'm saying? But he can guard at least 1 through 3 very well. And I think that I would rather keep Shaq Harrison, if I'm being completely honest, than Chris Dunn on the Bulls moving forward. I like what Shaq Harrison does, but the offensive numbers just got to be there, and they're not. Although I do want to give him a nod. No, when I said he couldn't shoot. I realized I said that, but the one shot he was taking this season that actually was up was that 3-point shot. I mean, he increased his 3-point percentage from 29.3 to 38.1. Like, that is a jump. So if you can keep that 3-point percentage moving in that direction, I might have to take back what I said. You know what I'm saying? Like, Harrison's another one who was like, well, get him in there when we can't get. Boylan had no lineup. So all of these mugs, like I said, when you look at these Bulls players, a lot of the numbers to me are skewed. But I would personally rather have Shaq Harrison on this team. Denzel Valentine. Just never been the same since Buddy from high school dropped you off. I think Denzel's kind of realized what his role is going to be in the NBA. He's going to be a spot-up shooter, and he's pretty good at it. I wouldn't be sad to see Denzel go. I like him as a player, but I don't think Denzel offers enough outside of shooting. Like you got to have that shooting. So if you kept him on the team as a spot up shooter, I'd be fine with that. But he can't be in the starting lineup. Like, to me, he's not good enough defensively. Offensively, that 3-point shot's really all he has. The Bulls kind of brought him in hoping that he could turn into a really good facilitator, and he just hasn't. I think he passes the ball well, but not consistently enough. So he's a shooter. That's it. I think he could become the dark-skinned Kyle Korver. Maybe not as great of that, but literally when Denzel comes on the floor, I'm looking for you to do one thing, and that's shoot the ball. And I'm talking about shoot the ball from deep. And that's it. I don't want to see nothing else from you. Luke Cornett. He can go. Now, Chandler Hutchinson is a tough one for me because I think that there's talent there. I think we've seen that there's talent there, but he's never on the court long enough for us to see what that talent is. And I really wanted see Hutch he looked like he was going to be so good. One of the crispiest linings in the game, though. But he looked like he was going to turn into a talent that could really make some noise for the Bulls and really be a key piece. I think the Bulls thought that they had really found something with Hutchinson, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. So if we could see a full season out of him at all, I would love to see that and see what he can do with consistent minutes. The problem is you got to be healthy. You know, the best ability is availability. And so you got to be healthy enough to play, and he just hasn't been. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to be thinking about moving on from C. Hutch at all anyway, just because it's still so early in his career. But you got to see more from him, absolutely. If y'all don't get this goofy mug off my screen if I slap y'all. The problem is the same argument applies to Otto Porter Jr. as with Chandler Hutchinson, bro. Like, I think Otto's a good player. I like Otto, but I mean, he ain't been there. I don't even remember how many games I've seen Otto Porter in, and I'm not going to lie to you. The games I did see him in, he really didn't do that much. He might have had 3 or 4 flashes. But other than that, like, I'd see, honestly, if you could get a trade package where you ship Otto Porter and Chris Dunn and get a nice, either a pick or something nice back, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think that Otto brings a lot when he's on the court. I mean, he's a good defender. He can shoot the ball well. He has that long body that he can drive it past defenders. I mean, he's got a lot of talent. He's just never on the court. And so that's a lot of money to not be there. And I think that was one of those consolation prizes that the Bulls have given us so many times. And we rounded things off with Adam Mokena. Now, Adam Mokena didn't get a ton of playing time with the Bulls. But when he did play, he had some games where he flashed for real. So I would like to see what that is now. I mean, his stat line at this point in his career really isn't even worth mentioning. Because his career is 11 games, but I would love to see what he can do moving forward. Because he shot the ball well. I believe he shot the free throws. I believe he shot the ball from 3 at a 40% clip, and from just from the field in general, shot about 42%. So I'd like to see if he can improve on those numbers, if he can get better and continue to do good things with the Bulls. But I mean, like I said, you got to get rid of these guys that are scoring 2.9, 3 points a game, 4 points a game. You know what I'm saying? We got to get guys in here who are consistently coming off the bench scoring 10, 11, 12 to 15 points a game. That's how you start building winning basketball. So we went through the Bulls' whole lineup, pretty much broke it down. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below about the players that I said that the Bulls should hang on to. Some of the players the Bulls should swap out. I'll be down there in the comments talking with you as well. I appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support. I am going to get up out of here. It is your boy, Pat, the designer, back at it again. If y'all want to continue watching more Chicago Bulls content, click the playlist here. Or if you want to just watch more Chicago sports content, check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out of Chicago. Peace.